In the tapestry of North American history, stories of faith, resilience, and cultural blending often shine brightest in the lives of individuals who, against all odds, bridge worlds. Among these remarkable figures stands Saint Kateri Tekakwitha, known as the Lily of the Mohawks. Her life, marked by hardship and hope, is a testament to the enduring power of faith and to the ways in which spiritual conviction can transcend boundaries of the culture, language, and time. Born in 1656 in the Mohawk village of Ossernanon, near present-day Orisville, New York, Kateri Tekakwitha entered a world in upheaval. The land of her birth was a crossroads where the cultures of the Iroquois Confederacy, French settlers, Jesuit missionaries, and other native nations met, sometimes in peace, often in conflict. Kateri's father was a Mohawk chief, a respected leader among his people, and her mother was an Algonquin woman who had been captured and adopted into the Mohawk tribe. From the very beginning, Kateri's life reflected a blending of traditions and identities. When she was just 4 years old, a smallpox epidemic swept through her village. The disease, brought by European settlers, claimed the lives of both her parents and her younger brother. Kateri survived, but not without scars. Her face was pockmarked and her eyesight permanently weakened. Orphaned and vulnerable, she was taken in by her uncle, another Mohawk chief, and raised within the traditional beliefs and customs of her people. Despite her losses, Kateri grew up in the Mohawk way, learning the skills expected of a young woman in her community. She gathered food, sewed clothing, and tended to the needs of her extended family. Yet even as she fulfilled these roles, something within her stirred, a quiet longing for a deeper sense of purpose. It was during her adolescence that Kateri first encountered the teachings of Christianity. Jesuit missionaries, known as the Black Robes for their distinctive clothing, had made their way into Mohawk territory, hoping to spread their faith among the native peoples. Many Mohawks distrusted these newcomers, seeing them as threats to their traditions and autonomy. Kateri, however, listened with curiosity and an open heart. The Jesuits' message of love, forgiveness, and eternal life resonated with her, especially after the suffering she had endured. At the age of 19, Kateri Tekakwitha made a decision that would change her life forever. She asked to be baptized as a Christian. On Easter Sunday, 1676, she was baptized by Father Jacques de Lamberville, taking the Christian name Kateri in honor of Saint Catherine of Siena. This act was not without consequence. Many in her community saw her conversion as a betrayal, and she faced ridicule, suspicion, and even threats to her safety. Her family pressured her to marry, as was customary, but Kateri refused, choosing instead to dedicate her life wholly to God. Facing growing hostility, Kateri fled her village in 1677, embarking on a perilous journey northward to the Jesuit mission at Canonization, near present-day Montreal. Traveling over 200 miles on foot, braving forests, rivers, and the ever-present danger of discovery, she made her way to a new home among fellow Christian converts. There, Kateri found not only safety, but a community of faith that nurtured her spiritual growth. At Kahanoek, Kateri's devotion deepened. She attended Mass daily, spent hours in prayer, and cared for the sick and elderly. Inspired by the example of Saint Catherine of Siena, she took a vow of perpetual virginity, a radical step for a woman of her time and culture, and one that underscored her total commitment to her faith. Those who knew her spoke of her gentleness, humility, and unwavering love for both God and her people. Yet Kateri's life was not free from suffering. Her health, already compromised by the effects of smallpox, continued to decline. She endured physical pain, but bore it with patience, seeing her suffering as a way to unite herself more closely to Christ. She often retreated into the woods to pray, finding solace in the beauty of creation and the quiet of the forest. To her, the natural world was a reflection of the Creator's love, a theme that resonates deeply with many who honor her today. Kateri Tekakwitha died on April 17, 1680, at the age of just 24. Those at her bedside reported that, moments after her death, the scars that had marked her face since childhood faded, leaving her features radiant and clear. News of this miracle spread quickly, and the story of the Lily of the Mohawks began to inspire both native and non-native Christians across North America. After her death, devotion to Kateri grew steadily. Stories of her intercession, of prayers answered, illnesses healed, and faith renewed multiplied over the centuries. Pilgrims visited her grave at Kanawake, and her name became a symbol of hope, especially for Indigenous peoples seeking to live their faith authentically but within their own cultures. Kateri's legacy is profound. She is honored as a bridge between worlds, between Native and European, tradition and change, suffering and sanctity. Her life reminds us that holiness is not reserved for the privileged or the powerful, but is possible for all, even those who suffer, who are marginalized, or who stand at the crossroads of history. In 1980, Pope John Paul II declared Kateri Tekakwitha blessed, recognizing her as a model of Christian virtue. On October 21, 2012, she was canonized by Pope Benedict XVI, becoming the first Native American saint. Today, she is the patroness of ecology, the environment, and Native peoples. Her feast day, celebrated on July 14th in the United States and April 17th in Canada, is a time for prayer, reflection, and celebration among those who honor her memory. Saint Kateri Tekakwitha's story continues to inspire. In her gentle strength, her courageous faith, and her love for both God and creation, she offers a vision of unity that transcends divisions of culture and history. She calls us to care for the earth, to seek peace and reconciliation, and to recognize the presence of the divine in every person we meet. From the forests of New York to the missions of Canada, from the pages of history to the hearts of those who pray for her intercession, the lily of the Mohawks blossoms still, a living reminder that even in the face of suffering and division, there is a path to holiness, open to all who seek it with a humble and loving heart.